Hi, I'm Lindsay. The following might be considered parts of my identity. Female, Caucasian, only child. This is a picture of my mother. This is a picture of my friends and I engaging in the shameless act of karaoke. And this is Lil Marky, a plastic fetus. Aforementioned friends and I used to have a hobby where we would take Lil Marky around the world and take pictures of him in front of landmarks and things. We did it as a jab at my best friend's crazy pro-life mother. But really, it was just kind of funny to make a joke of a social topic as stigmatized and heated as abortion. So I guess this was all well and good for me, my friends, Tammy's fundamentalist mother. But what does this passionate debate do to the men and women who end up on the wrong side of it?
We've gotten rid of, if you use that phrase, the problem, the child. But then what if there's a mom and dad who are walking around, but in some respect it's like arrested development that describes men and women who don't know where to put this.
I don't think that we can separate internal personal feelings with our cultural context.
Oh, beautiful.
But in general, there's this widespread ignorance that nobody can actually correct because everyone's equally ignorant about what's going on.
Liberating strife.
We think it must be other kinds of women, not the kind of women in our lives, because they've never shared this with us.
And mercy more than life.
Everyone else wants to treat this like, you didn't do anything, or, good on you, girl, you took care of you, because a lot of times that's all the woman gets, because everyone's uncomfortable dealing with it.
And I know you do have some friends that have gone through abortions. How has that influenced your attitude on the issue? Seeing their personal experience.
Yeah, no, I don't prefer to answer that one.
Okay.
Not just because it just seems silly.
One of my friends, he said, wow. It was over Skype, so it was like, wow, and I'm like, oh God. And then the next one that follows is, you are my hero. What? and then he continues like, you exercised your right to choose. And I'm like, you think I'm proud of this?
That seems odd. That's like, like, hey.
You go, girl.
You got that bunion off. Good for you. That's not how you stand up for yourself, or this is just a right we have. I don't go out, like, getting pregnant deliberately to exercise my rights. Ooh. That sounds excellent.
In reality, women feel all kinds of different ways. Some women, when they have an abortion, they feel relief maybe, and then they put it out of their mind. It doesn't really, it's like any sort of medical procedure.
In my mind, it was anyone who's not ready to have a child should have an abortion. That's what you do. That's how you solve that problem. It's like getting a disease and having to cure it, very cold and cutthroat.
Sometimes women do feel devastated and they feel really, really bad about it for the rest of their lives.
There's still consequences you have to live with for the rest of your life. And I know this because when I was young, I was in my 20s, I was in a relationship that it was not a good relationship, and I had an abortion. And if I could go back and do it again, I would do it completely different. I think about it all the time, and I know, and I pray only by God's grace that one day I will get up to heaven like everyone else will.
I'm just a woman, a lonely woman, waiting on a weary shore. I'm just a woman.
This is one of my godchild that had an abortion, and you could tell that she was very destructive with herself. And I asked her, why did you have an abortion since you know better? She says, I was afraid.
So maybe there is some pressure not to do it. But on the other hand, you got all this pressure from family, school, work, baby daddy. What other choice did I have?
And it's one thing if your child dies, you're devastated. And it's another thing if you've had a choice in it that they died, that so many women feel they don't have the right to grieve. They don't have the right.
God does not bless death.
I wrote this letter, like, this letter feeling like shit, like on the subway once, and I just wrote the letter like, okay, look, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but like, look at this world, and I have nothing to offer you right now. I still look at the letter and I think it's true, and I think that actually makes me feel good. Like I actually honored something at that moment.
Not to take anything away from the seriousness, but there is that great phrase, "You're only as sick as your secrets." I choose never, ever, ever to be in a political camp because my heart is for healing.
I want people to know that it's common and it's personal, and that there actually needs to be some like sympathy.
A woman who chooses an abortion is like an animal caught in a steel trap that chews off her own leg to get free. And you have to have some kind of compassion for somebody that would go through that.
The thought among many regarding abortion is out of sight, out of mind. It's not a proper thing you talk about in civilized society. But how do you get past the experience if you're afraid to talk about it?
And there is power in that sharing. There is power in the talking.
I think it's human nature to want to put a voice to the things you've been through. Something that's not there anymore. And someone who never will be.